Alright guys, my name is Kyle. I'm going to be giving your video walkthrough on your Airstream today. We're going to start first and foremost with the coupler assembly here. Okay. This is going to be the latched in position, and it looks like this. To open this coupler, all you're going to do is push forward and lift up. Next, we have our safety breakaway cable. And this cable actually gets hooked to the vehicle, and what this does is it locks the brakes up on the trailer in the event that you disconnect from the actual tow vehicle. We'll show you how to properly hook this up when you pick the trailer up. Your safety chains are here. We always want to cross our chains in the RV industry, make a basket at least once. That way so it has something to catch. Also, we have the tongue jack here with our courtesy light switch here. You retract and extend with that switch as well. And then in here we have our LP tanks, and these are just like the LP tanks if you have an LP grill at home. You're just going to clockwise turn to close the valve and counterclockwise to open the valve. This does have an auto change regulator in it, and what that means is when you see this little arrow right here on the regulator, we're drawing from this tank right now. Now when this tank goes empty, this regulator will automatically switch over to the other tank, but indicate on this green marker you can see it'll be red. Alright? And what you do in that instance is you would take this tank off, turn the regulator back to this tank, and then fill this tank. That way you're always having an endless amount of propane. You're not having to fill both tanks at a time. Okay, and these bottles are secured with this wing nut here. You just turn this to get it off. And then we have a little rubber strap to hold the cover down. Right in here we have our batteries. 2 Interstate HD24s. Right here we have our LP quick disconnect. Up here we have our plexiglass cover to protect the window underneath, and you would just tighten these 2 screws on the side to actually secure it up, and then you can open the main window. And these also have 2 rubber mounts to attach it to the RV. Front rock guards are here. These are removable for cleaning. You have 3 bolts to take off. Nuts. So these stainless steel nuts are going to take off. Swing this whole rock guard off, and then you can get up and behind it to clean any debris that you're going to get in there while traveling with the camper. Down here is our stabilizer jack. This is a manual stabilizer jack. We have a tool in the compartment on the other side of the camper, which you will use to get the stabilizers down. These are stabilizers, not levelers. So what happens is you put these to the ground, and once they touch the ground, you stop. You don't want to lift the camper up at all because you'll actually bend that stabilizer jack. Next to that stabilizer jack is our sewer hose port. You just remove this cover, and the sewer hose is stored inside there. Down below that, we have our low points. Our hot and cold low points are these 2 valves here. And you will open and close those as you use the camper. Once you're done using it over the weekend, you open those valves, siphon the water out of the system. That way you're not leaving stagnant water in the system. Next to that, those 2 valves is the freshwater drain valve, this white one here. And you will turn that to the right to actually open the valve. It's in the closed position right now. Right here is our portable water tank fill port. You will open this, and that's where you fill the water tank. Okay, they put a lock on there just so nobody can jump in there and put some foreign contaminants in your trailer. Cable and satellite ports are here. This is what you'll hook up to if you're going to have provided cable or satellite at the campsite to hook up to, and that will go to the TVs on the inside so you can get that signal that they provide. Shore power port is here, as you're going to be provided with a 30 amp cord. And make sure that if you're going to use your AC, that you are actually plugged into 30 amps. We do have an adapter that we provide in our starter kit and that is for charging the battery only, and I'll get more in depth with that once we get around to it. So wheels and tires, make sure you're torquing your lug nuts the first trip. These things can come loose over time, especially when you go on your first long trip, so always keep a torque wrench with you, and always check your air pressure. You don't want to blow out while you're driving. This is the refrigerator exhaust, so you don't want to store anything in this panel. This is merely just so you can get to the electronics and or service the refrigerator. There's a big cavity in here, so it is enticing to actually want to put something in here, but don't, because you could cause damage to the refrigerator because it needs to vent all that hot exhaust off to actually cool properly. So this is only for service and maintenance. And there's also one above. And if you actually have this running, you can feel all the heat coming off of this refrigerator. Above those vents is our stove vent, and we have these little plastic tabs on the side, alright? And that, you want to push these to the down position to open this vent and allow the fan to actually exhaust whatever you are cooking on the stove. Something to be mindful of is these little plastic tabs. They are very, very easy to break. So when you use them, be as careful as possible, because you do not want to have to replace this entire vent cover because you broke a plastic tab off. So just be very careful. And then this will open and allow you to exhaust. Very, very careful. I'm going to put a lot of emphasis on that because this is an expensive thing to replace for a little tiny tab. Alright, city water connection is here. Something, if you didn't know already, is all Airstream trailers are pressure regulated to 50 psi, alright? So you do not need a pressure regulator if you go to a campsite. Your trailer will not exceed that threshold because it is regulated on the backside of this port, okay? This is your flush water, your flush kit for your black tank, alright? So this is a sprinkler within the black tank that will clean it out after you've used it, alright? This is a 60-day use it or lose it item in the RV industry. When I say that, what I mean is if you're using the tank and you don't use this within 60 days of actually putting soot and all that stuff in the tank, then this will clog, alright? So you want to make sure you're exercising the black water flush kit, alright? Next to that is our shower, and that's stored inside this compartment. Below that is our furnace intake and exhaust, and below that is our actual dump station, alright? To the left is the gray valve, and to the right is the black valve, and you always want to dump your black valve first, and then clean out the tube with the gray water, because that's usually sink and shower water. It's a lot cleaner than this one. So you pull this one first, after you've hooked up all this, obviously, into the ground, and then you'll pull the gray water to flush it. And then you'll close this valve, and that's when you'll use your flush kit up there. You'll hook a hose to that, let the tank fill up to like 50%, no more than 50%, obviously, because then you're going to get smell in the camper. And then you'll open this again and allow the water to flush out. And you'll do that 3 or 4 times with chemicals that they give you or you can purchase, so it's nice and clean when you go to store it. Our rear stabilizer jack is here, just like the one on the front. So we have a window awning on this side. I don't have my pole, so I'm see if I can reach this. There we go, okay. And what you're gonna do is you're gonna pull this strap down, and that strap just gets put into this little clip here, just like that. And then we have our windows covered from direct sunlight. Alright, and to close this, all you have to do is release the clip. Make sure that the thing is nice and tight when you close it. And then you want to make sure that you have your tool to close this clip. And that's easy, you just turn it this way until it locks in. Here's our rear wet storage area, and what you're going to do with this is you're going to store hoses, your power cord, things that are normally left outside that you don't mind getting wet if at all it rains, okay? And this thing is really easy to operate. All you have to do is come over here, clip pull up on that little rod right here, just up until you hear it click. And you can lay it down softly. And these things you'll just push down just like that, and that's it. So now we have our rear window awning, and how this works is I'm just gonna pull this just like the one on the side, but you have these little turn guys here. What you're gonna do with those is you're just gonna clip them into these little side clips here, okay? This one I'm gonna leave open just for the sake of it being really hard to do this with one hand. But you get the idea. And then once you go to close it, you wanna rotate the rod. It was up in this position. You wanna rotate it this way. So it's behind this little bolt like that. And then you can pull it. And you can push it back in there, just like that. And then you can put this one back where it's supposed to be. You want it behind the bolt like that so it's not flopping when you're driving. Alright, here's our main awning here, and this one's already been set up for us. So this awning is pretty simple to use. It's kind of hard to do with one hand though. Best if you have a partner to do this. But all you do is pull this little latch out here, allow the rod to come back in. Once that's back in, then you pull this tab up here and you'll pull this bar off, and then you'll set that bar into this little clip here. Alright, and then in doing that, once you switch sides, you're going to have this roll that holds the awning from going all the way in. And you're going to hold on to it with very tightly, so that way when you're doing this side, that the awning's not going to roll up on you. And then once you do the same process on this side as you did that side, you'll come over here and just hold on to this and allow the awning to close nice and easy. Alright, so up in here is our dry storage compartment. This is directly under the bed, so you don't want to store anything under here that you wouldn't want to be outside. Alright, so right now we have our crank for the tongue jack in case it runs out of power. We have our LP quick disconnect hose for that port in the front. We have our sewer hose elbow. This is what this sewer hose right here will get put onto. And then we have our TV mount that is used for a normal house, but obviously it's on a swivel mount right now in the camper, but they just give this to you because it comes with the TV. And then we have a courtesy light there. Here's the other front stabilizer jack. Water heater is here. This is an automatic ignition water heater, so you don't have to do anything out here as far as firing it. It's all done on the inside in the bathroom. But the drain is here, okay? And what you'll do is you'll take this plug out, and then you will drain the tank from this plug. You want to do that every time you're done using the tank. Not every time you're done using it. Literally, every time you're done camping in the RV and you're going to let it store for more than a couple days, you want to drain this out because it does get stagnant quickly, especially with that hard mineral water that you're going to get at the campsite. This is our pressure pop-off valve, and what you want to do with this is you only want to open this when you're draining this tank. So once you take this plug out, you open this valve, and that'll allow this to siphon freely. Any other case, do not open this. When you're purging the tank, when it's empty, open a faucet on the inside and wait for the air pressure to come out. Alright, because you can get this to mess up if you have it open and close it while there's water still in there. So, final thing before we go inside, this is the Airstream door. This is a very heavy door. I think that when I went to the factory, they told me it takes 11 hours to make this door. So it's much like a vault door. It's very, very heavy. So one thing they wanted us to be mindful of is when you have this door, you don't want to just, give it a little light touch, because if you notice, we're not completely closed here. It's kind of got that air gap, and you're going to hear that, especially if there's wind. Alright, so what they want you to do is they want you to put your hand next to the handle and kind of give it a nice little oomph will show, because it's a vault door, right? You want to make sure it's nice and tight along that seam. Look at this. So now we're not going to get any of that wind noise around the door seal, and then we can have happy campers. Alright, so we have our bug screen cover here for the inside. Screen door you open by pulling this tab. Then we have that to shut, and then we can pull that cover over so we don't get any bugs at the inside, and we can get that natural breeze. Alright, so the Airstream step can be very challenging for people. This probably will be the most annoying thing for you, but you have me, and I'm going to teach you how to do it, and you got a video of it now. So when you close this step, it's going to want to kind of like go its own direction, you know what I mean? You're not really going to know how to shut it. So what I always do is I push my thumb into this spot here. Obviously with two hands, I only got one right now. Hold it up until it looks like this, right? Then you're just going to fold it over like that, alright? Then you're going to pull it towards you and back until it clicks up like that. Now to open it, you're just going to hold this tab, let it naturally fall out, it will lock in place. Pull this towards you, let it fall. Okay? Now we're going to push this part with our hand down, alright? You will not believe how challenging this is if you don't do it in that order, because it will go a complete different direction and you will hate this step. Make sure that you do that. Up, fold, front, back, click. That's it. Alright? And then fold, let it fall. That's it. And we're walking in the trailer. Alright. So, first thing is our electronic battery disconnect. This is my favorite thing about Airstreams. This is the lazy man switch, okay? Say you got a couple lights on in here, you're walking away from the trailer, you don't want anything left on, the AC is running, you don't feel like getting to the thermostat. If you hit store real quick, this will turn everything 12 volt off in the trailer, okay? It's not gonna hurt anything, it's just disconnecting 12 volt power from all the main functions, okay? Still gonna get battery charge, you're still gonna get 110 power, it's just gonna disconnect 12 volt, alright? Very good thing for you to store, and you wanna make sure that you do take advantage of this. Don't let your battery die. It's a very easy button. Switches up here. We also have our awning. That'll dim that awning light. Ceiling lights. We have our notepad here. Bathroom. There's the shower. It's in the middle of testing right now, so some stuff is still in the process. Sink is here. We have our 5x zoom mirror there. Down here we have our toilet chemicals. They give you a starter bottle. This is what you're going to put in the toilet when you want to deodorize after you've used the tank. Toilet is here. Just a little foot pedal down here to flush. Sea level tank monitor is here. So right now we got 13.2 volts to the batteries because we're charging. 0 in the fresh. 75% gray. 100% black. As I said, they're testing it right now, so still going to be some fluids in there. Electric and propane. For the water heater, this is the switches I was telling you about that you just have to turn these on. So electric and propane, both sides. Alright, so right here is our spice rack. Some more storage up in there. There's the hidden key in case this door gets locked. Overhead storage there. We have our range. This is with the fan that goes to the outside that will vent. Stovetop cover. refrigerator is here. Really simple refrigerator to use. All you're gonna have to do is turn it on. I leave mine in auto all the time, and when you unplug from the wall, it's gonna switch over to propane automatically, and when you plug back in, it'll switch back to AC automatically. Some more storage down here. Our water pump and winterize kit is down here as well, okay? So that's how you're gonna access or winterize the trailer. Bed is over here. That is our antenna booster. How you turn that on is you just hit this button. Make sure the green light's on. That's going to get you the Air TV. There's our TV on the swivel. The bed is here. Front window. Egress window. That's pretty much it. That is your Airstream flying cloud, guys. I really want to thank you for purchasing from National RV. Us back here in the techs really appreciate your business during this time, and we hope you have a great trip on your first trip, and thanks for purchasing.